After years of having a phony plastic bag ban, California politicians are about to impose a real one. Coming up, we'll tell you why it's going to lead to higher costs, less convenience, and it won't help save the environment. All that and more coming up. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and you do remember in 2014, California politicians decided to grandstand and showboat on the environment, as they so often do, and they passed a sweeping bill banning plastic bags at grocery stores. But then what they did was they inserted language in this law that said that those flimsy bags, the ones that are very thin, would be banned, but that the store could sell you thicker plastic bags for 10 cents a pop, and the store could make money. Well, in light of that law, plastic bag use did not decline. It actually stayed about the same. And the thicker bags meant that the actual weight of bags thrown away in landfills went up. In fact, the weight or the tonnage of plastics disposed into California landfills rose by 47% after the plastic bag ban went into effect. And of course, it's annoying because you go to the store and what used to be a free bag is now 10 cents a pop. And that all adds up after a period of time. Now comes a new law. Politicians say, all right, we're going to get real. We're going to get serious. Here it is. California lawmakers pass bills to ban plastic reusable shopping bags. Now, the reason why they were made thicker by the stores is that the stores said, well, the thinner ones are banned because they're not reusable because they fall apart real easy. In fact, I've had situations, I'm sure you have as well, where those old thin bags would break on your way out to your car in the parking lot from the store. So the thicker bags were sold at 10 cents a pop. Obviously, people, some people change their bag habits. They, recycled bags, they brought in the same bags over and over again. I try to do that, but usually I'm not so good at it. They bought felt bags. And they come into the store with those. I see a lot of people with those. But it really didn't do what the proponents of the plastic bag ban said what would happen, which is divert a lot of this stuff from the landfill. Assembly Bill 2236 and Senate Bill 1053 essentially do the same thing, and they passed this week in the California State Assembly and the State Senate. It bans any of those reusable bags. And it says that now, going forward, paper bags given out by stores or sold by stores, the bags would be sold by stores, would have to be made of 100% recycled material, not 40%. Now, here's what you need to know about this. This is going to lead to many stores just getting rid of bags altogether. And again, this is why I oppose this bill, because it's not convenient. I think plastics are convenient. Yes, we should do a good job of recycling. But let me tell you right now, for all the grandstanding of California politicians on recycling, these people are not recycling the things that they say they're recycling. They're charging you those 5 cent, 10 cent charges on your soda cans and your water bottles, and they're sitting on all that cash. And then they borrow through IOUs against those recycle fees, because most people don't, go and, turn those plastic containers back in or cans back in to get the money. So there's a big surplus of all those 5 and 10 cent charges, the CRT charges, taxes is what we should really call them. And so the state then uses this as a money-making opportunity, not really as a recycling opportunity. The landfills run by municipal governments are also not diverting because it costs too much money. And so they don't want to spend the money for the environment, even though the politicians on all those city councils grandstand about how good they are on the environment. they decide just to have those landfills get higher and higher and higher, and not actually hit the state diversion goals for reducing waste and for improving and recycling. Um, so these two bills are coming in, and it's going to result in less convenience because you're not going to get bags. And if you do have a store that's willing to sell you a bag, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be a very expensive paper bag because going to 100% recycled paper is very expensive. The 40% is doable. 100% recycled material, yeah, good luck with that. And so that is going to cause you the inconvenience of when you're stuck in a jam, when you walk in and you're like, shoot, I left my bags at home. Either you're going to have to carry all your goods out one by one, or you have to buy more bags, and those are going to pile up at home. And I guarantee you right now, people say, oh, well, they're from recycled material. Well, a lot of that material is still going to end up going into a landfill because you can produce a paper bag based on recycled material that other people have recycled. But if you have a bunch of people who have a bunch of bags that then throw that away into their trash can because they built up so many at their home, or they're just constantly buying bags at a higher cost because people. You think I know people are frugal, but a lot of people are like, it's just 10 cents. It's just 10 cents. And then suddenly they realize, oh, wow, that really added up. That's just, the nature of most people's spending. Those bags are going to go to the landfill. And so, for all the good intentions, and I think that the people that are pushing this, most of them have good intentions. And I think recycling is a good idea. But government mandates actually just cause more inconvenience, less quality of life, and higher costs. And I think that that's what's going to happen here. So be on the lookout for this. The days of you actually being able to get a bag at your store will be long gone as of next year when this bill takes effect. More insanity from California politicians. This is the other story I wanted to cover, and that is the state faces a $70 billion plus budget deficit, but politicians want to create a whole new state department on slavery reparations. That's right. This is a bill that was passed this week, despite the fiscal crisis that the state faces. The fact that they're cutting, for example, funding for positions for helping disabled people in terms of home health care and various healthcare expenses for them. We're going to create now, the state politicians are going to create something called the California American Freedmen's Affairs Agency. I'm sure with gaggles of state government workers with big salaries and pensions. Senate Bill 1403, sponsored by race-baiting Senator Stephen Bradford, Democrat of Hellhole, which is in Los Angeles, Gardena, wants this agency to basically be looking for ways to get more taxpayer money to people on the basis of skin color. Yes, very, very discriminating and completely unfair. But hey, that's what these politicians do, is they like to divide us. They like to narrative drive that somehow the world is filled with hate and that somehow you're the victim or someone's a victim and that the only way to protect yourself is to vote for the politician over there. No, it ends up costing all of us a lot of money and dividing us. And so the Democrats in Sacramento are just throwing more money at this race baiting, dividing narrative. Remember, I just want to remind you that California entered the Union as a free state. We've never had slavery. And last time I checked, no slave is still alive and no slave owner is still alive. If you want to settle the score, those would be the people that you would have to be dealing with. But no, some 150 years later, we have these politicians trying to resurrect this issue. Why? Because they have failed on so many other issues. This is nothing but a game of distraction. Finally, Assemblymember Chris Ward has passed a bill. He's authored a bill, and it got passed in the state assembly that would ban any parent right to know policy at local school districts. Now, mind you, parents have a right to know under the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. It's a federal constitutional right that parents have a right to know about the issues, affairs, status, and welfare of their children. You can't keep secrets from parents, period, full stop, because the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled consistently that parents have the constitutional right to govern the affairs of their children, and you can't exercise that constitutional right if you're not given information. The Democrat politicians say there's a right of privacy. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're under 18, you don't hold that right of privacy. Your parent, as your custodian, holds the right of privacy on your behalf. It is the parent's right of privacy about the affairs of their children. So Assembly Bill 1955 would ban the right to know policies and therefore perpetuate secrets and therefore violate the constitutional rights that parents have over the affairs of their children. Chris Ward knows this. He doesn't care. He's a divisive wingnut extremist who doesn't respect parents' rights and certainly doesn't care about these kids. Because when these kids are going through these issues and questioning, they need the love and support of their parents because they're confused, they're depressed, they're anxious. Their parents need to know. Doesn't mean that, you say, oh, let's have a little parent-teacher conference. No, but parents need to be given an appropriate heads up so that the parents can, support and love their children and look out for their best interests. So again, Chris Ward, shame on you for this extremism. It's not warranted and it hurts the kids and is against the law. At Reform California, we're trying to fight these bad proposals by electing better leaders to the state Senate and state assembly. We can't do that without your help. So please chip in a contribution at our website, reformcalifornia.org. That's reformcalifornia.org. Sign up for our voter guide. We send out our voter guides every election. The plain English voter guide, giving you a simple description of what the ballot measures are, and then containing all of the endorsements for judges, school board races, state assembly, state senate. Fill in your first name, your last name, your email, your phone, and your zip code. That's all it takes. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification button so you can stay up to date on all the developments in California news and politics. Also, please visit the website, reformcalifornia.org, for ongoing news coverage and to join one of our campaigns in the fight to take back our state. If you can, please sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution. This episode of Reform California with Carl DeMaio, paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly 2024.